Hello and welcome to VOA's Red Carpet. I'm your host, Sunday Shomari, and on this episode of Red Carpet, we have a contemporary African art shop in Washington, D.C., a Ugandan online TV channel, bridging the information gap for the deaf, and Nigerian artist Isaac Ekele joins the Denver Portraiture Exhibit. Let's begin the show. Let's start the show with some highlights of the latest entertainment news around the world. We begin with film news. Warner Bros. Has announced the release date of its 2019 Oscar-winning blockbuster Joker, starring Joaquin Phoenix, and the sequel is being reported to be a musical, with Lady Gaga expected to play Harley Quinn, the Joker's co-conspirator. The pop star and actress appeared to confirm her casting in the upcoming motion picture by posting a musical teaser on Twitter. The musical clip depicts silhouettes dancing together to the tune of the song Chick to Chick, originally written by Irving Berlin in 1935 for the Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers movie Top Hat, with names Phoenix and Gaga flashing on the screen. In some music news, Nigerian singer Kizz Daniel Buga was detained by police in Tanzania after he failed to show up for a performance. He was released hours after his arrest, which was confirmed by the chairperson of Nigerians in Diaspora Commission, NIDCOM, Abike Dabiri Erewa, on Twitter. According to the concert promoter in Tanzania, Stephen Ua, Kizz Daniel opted out of the show because the airline he flew with did not bring all his luggage, and he could not perform without his gold chain. Having lived and worked in East, West, and Southern Africa for 10 years, store owner Irene T. Wallen has a unique insight into the continent, which has enabled her to create a very special collection of African pieces that reflect the very best of the continent at her store Zawadi, in Swahili means present, in Washington D.C.'s U Street. VOA's Kali Abdu has the story.
We've been here for 30 years, so as you can imagine, there have been many changes. U Street has a long history of black business, and many people talked about it as the Black Business Center. I entered U Street knowing its history, feeling that it was an important place for African Americans to be. But at the time I entered, it was in the early stages of development. And there would be articles in the paper about how U Street was a place to be and how it was regenerating. And I would look around and I would okay, so where's this? What is this happening that I don't see? But, in 5-10 years, it did change, and it did become a very exciting and vibrant place with many, many stores, many boutiques like Zawadi. It was a wonderful congregation of small boutiques that brought such excitement and really honor to U Street. And as these stores became more popular, the community around us became more popular, and the gentrification process created a dilemma for many of us because we are renters and prices went up. So eventually, and unfortunately, I'm the only one of that generation remaining. These are called kissy pennies. They are part of the currency, the money that was used in Africa. This heavy metal piece is also used, or was also used as currency, and was recognized both for its artistic value and could be traded, and people would understand what the value was. So there's a whole history of trade items, metal items that were used as money. There are layers and layers and layers that exist in traditional African art. Most of the pieces are no longer in use, or they may be used in occasional ceremonies. Certainly in Nigeria, some of the ceremonies go on. The yam ceremony, they're so important, they go on, and those pieces are used. But many of the pieces that we're seeing now are designed for commercial use. But at the same time, we shouldn't dismiss the skill of the artists who are doing it.
Let's head over to Uganda. After hearing about a deaf man who was shot and wounded because he did not know about curfew during the pandemic, sign language interpreter Susan Mujawa Ananda decided to set up an online TV channel for deaf people.
When Susan Mujawa Ananda heard a deaf man had been shot and wounded during the global health crisis, she decided to act. His family says he didn't know there was a curfew. Ananda's solution to bridging the information gap was to set up an online television channel for deaf people.
The security guys called upon him to explain why he was moving beyond curfew hours, and unfortunately, because he did not hear, he kept on moving.
Late last year, Ananda, who is a sign language interpreter, teamed up with her friend Simon Iroku, who is deaf. After winning a grant, they founded Science TV. In a typical broadcast, the news is read by two deaf anchors and simultaneously signed by an interpreter, going slowly to match the anchor's pace.
About the commodity prices.
The screen also carries subtitles.
In our country.
Iroku said the future of communication must be inclusive.
This implies that we have to ensure that everyone in the community should be able to understand the message you are passing on. And we believe that if information is inclusive for everyone, even us as deaf people will be able to benefit from it.
Science TV made its first broadcast in April and employs 8 staff, including 4 deaf anchors. For now, it produces only one weekly news roundup on Saturdays due to financial, staffing, and technical constraints. Up to about 800 viewers have watched individual bulletins so far, and the numbers are growing.
Thank you, and we have entertained.
Ananda says Science TV has ambitions to expand, including offering sports and talk shows.
Now to some art news. Nigerian artist Isaac Ekele is part of an exhibition of portraiture in the western U.S. state of Colorado. VOA's Scott Stearns reports on his hyper-realistic drawings, and let's take a look.
Isaac Ekele prides himself on the details. Using charcoal pencils, graphite pencils, and soft blending brushes, he layers his portraits from lighter to darker.
When I'm done having a perfect shade of the picture, then I start adding details, like the hair to be very realistic, the eyes, so that when someone sees it, he will think it's a picture, not a drawing. That's what I want to achieve.
Ekele's work is part of a portrait of a culture exhibit in the western U.S. city of Denver that includes fashion and dance. Curator Shanna Shelby says Ekele's skill elevates pencil drawing.
Maybe a single portrait of a single person would be very simple, but the way that he does it is just with incredible technique.
At home in the Nigerian capital Abuja, Ekele splits his time between personal projects and commissioned portraits. Of his work on exhibit in the United States, he told VOA he is most proud of My Mom's Prayer.
The prayers my mom gives me and all that, her encouragement ever since I lost my dad, and her sincere wishes for me to become something, great in future. Through her prayers and, support and backings, I've been able to, develop this determination.
The struggle came from children he saw in the market.
How they were suffering, and I saw one holding another, trying to give him food and something. And I just got that picture and I said, I'm going to replicate what I see, because I get my inspiration from my environment most times.
Breaking Loose is about empowering women.
The rope is already loosening up. It has to tell about the, gender inequality, how ladies before, they don't get the opportunity to speak in their nation, especially in Africa. Most times ladies are being kept quiet. They don't want them to participate.
Ekele says he's encouraged by the public response.
I just want my audience to try to, to resonate with what I do, to try to reason the way I reason, you understand? That way they'll be able to understand my kind of drawing, because it's mostly built out of emotion.
In Denver, curator Shelby says it's emotion and effort that set Ekele apart.
Sometimes we got caught up with time, right? Like maybe it takes too long to create that portrait. But the respect that I give Isaac is that he spends that time and he finishes the portrait, and they are personal to him, and the way that he makes them personal makes it personal to us too. And so we relate to that very deeply.
Ekele's work is on display in the Colorado Capitol through the end of August. Scott Stearns, VOA News, Denver.
We'll close the show with some music news. Kenyan-born singer Habita Moloni is a showbiz veteran with more than 20 years in the business. The entertainer recently relocated to Dubai, seeking for new opportunities and to work on new music. Let's check it out.
It's Habita's first ever performance in Dubai, having recently relocated from the United Kingdom. With over 20 years in the music industry across 8 countries, the Kenyan-born singer is still in the game, sharing her gift with the world.
When this came, I said yes. You also have to say yes to the opportunity. So for this is up my alley completely. And I'm trying, and I know this is my brand. I have songs to perform here, they make sense. So this is the path I'm on. So it's almost like this is just meeting me.
The multi-talented entertainer has lived in Kenya, United Kingdom, USA, Oman, and now UAE. The constant moving, she says, does come with its ups and downs.
Because I get bored easily. So the moving is quite exciting for me. But work-wise, it's very crippling.
At age 16, she moved to the United Kingdom, where her music journey began, and then proceeded to the United States, where she obtained a degree in performing arts. A chance trip to Kenya brought her a first taste of fame with the song Sunshine, which also won an MTV Mama Award. Many years later, Habita is now in Dubai, seeking new opportunities, making connections, and working on new music.
Thanks for watching VOA's Red Carpet. I'm your host, Sunday Shamari. For more on your entertainment news, check us out on www.voaafrica.com or on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Until next time, goodbye, everyone.